Hello everyone, it's Jean from Inky Studio. I'm so happy to have you with me today, and I am working on my All Junk journal, and this is part 2 in that little series, and I'll link down part 1 down below. And today we're going to be working on the cover, which I have chosen this gift bag to be the cover. Before I get started though, there was a couple things that I'd like to catch you up on, and that is I had a comment in my last video about where to get the Scotch glue sticks. And when I went to research where I got these, I noticed that there's two different labelings, and they both work great. One is Scotch Permanent Glue Stick, and the other one is Scotch Create. Now they're both permanent, and I think that's what you need to look for is Scotch glue, permanent glue. But either one of these work really well. Here, the additional one of the Scotch Create is that it bonds to fabric. I've never tried it for fabric, but I think I'd like to do that in this journal and just see. I can't imagine that it would bond to heavy fabric, but I think, just ordinary cotton fabric, I think it might do a good job. So I think I will try it that way. But this one here works just as well. It has the same quick, fast bond that this one does. So on Amazon is where I got these, but I've also gotten these at Walmart. So if you just go to either place and search for Scotch Permanent Glue, you'll probably end up with one of these choices. I think I've also seen this in Joann Fabrics. Pretty sure I've seen it there as well. So wherever you can get the best price, then that's the place to get it. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. Originally, I was going to use this particular bag here for the cover, but then I determined after a while it was a little too small for me. And also, I thought it was kind of cheating because a lot of you are going to have gift bags that have print on them. So I'm going to choose a printed gift bag. Now I know there's going to be some reflection here. It's kind of shiny, but hopefully we'll get past that really soon because I'm going to turn it inside out to use. But I did want to talk a little bit about size. And so the size of your journal, so the width of your bag is going to determine how tall your journal is. So these are my signatures and my papers that I'm going to be using. And so I'll need a bag that this will fit inside. So you either can approach it from these are my signatures, this is the bag I need, or if this all you have is this size, perhaps the size of bag, then you'll have to adjust your signatures to fit inside that. But the width of the bag is going to determine how tall your journal is. The rest of it doesn't matter because it's all going to be folded and cut up. But that's probably the critical part of choosing your bag size. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut that fold line on the side that's in between, the two big, it's in the middle of the side. We're going to cut right down that middle and right down to the very bottom. And we'll do that on both sides. Then we're going to come in at the bottom and make a slit that helps so that in the end we're able to open up the bag all the way flat. So we're just going to slit those 4 corners at the bottom and the side. And I think I ripped one of the sides a little bit, so this is not really, it doesn't matter a whole lot because we're going to do a lot of covering up and that type of thing. So the line doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that. All right, so now that we've got them all slit and our bag is totally opened, the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to tear the handles off because I am going to use those handles. Well, it depends if you want to use them or not, but I am going to use them as kind of a decorative part of the closure. And so I'm just going to cut these off. Now, you can either cut them off or sometimes you can tear them off without tearing the outside bag. So if you can do that, then probably would be very helpful. But no matter what, you're going to have to get the cording out if that's how your bag is set up, because you don't want that hump inside there. So somehow the cording does have to come off. And just carefully, and this is not an expensive bag or anything like this. This is a dollar store bag, so I'm pretty sure most bags would work that way. Now we're able to totally open it up, and we're going to be folding down these sides here so that it's all even with the spine. So the spine and the folds here are even, and we're going to glue those down. First I'm going to miter them, and this is going to help to reinforce the cover or the front and back a little bit there. And it's really hard to cut something even along the fold line with your scissors. So by folding this over, then you have a straight line edge there. And I'm going to glue then all 4 sides. Now you'll have to determine, what your inside and outside is. So I am making the printed side of the bag the inside, so that on the outside I have just plain white to work with. And it really, structurally it doesn't matter. But if you don't really want the print on the bag to show, then I would fold this over towards the printed side, like so. Okay, once you have all the 4 sides glued over, we're going to look at the spine. Now, sometimes on the gift bags, the spine is not totally glued down. And so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just making sure that all the flaps are all secure together. And I'm going to check on both sides to make sure there's nothing loose. We are going to eventually add to the spine so that all these little bulky papers won't be showing. But for now, I just want to make sure that all the edges are secured. To cover up the bottom of the bag, I have cut 2 strips of scrapbook paper, a medium weight, medium to heavy weights, probably what you would want, and it's the width of the bottom of the bag there, and it will help to reinforce the cover as we go along, and you'll see how that works. So I'm going to glue that in, and like I say, it's about 12 inches long, 4 inches wide. I'm using scrapbook paper that I don't like, that some people may call ugly scrapbook paper. I like to call it orphan paper, and I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac just because it dries quickly and everything, and I don't have to wait for it to dry, but I probably would use a white glue here if you didn't have Fabri-Tac. And we'll just put that right over all of those folds and creases. And this also will help even out the edge there that didn't get cut so straight, make it as heavy and as reinforced as the cover flaps are. I'm going to burnish it, and I'm a real believer in burnishing especially large areas. I think it really does help to have good contact. And I'm going to complete that wrap with just another piece that fits just inside that area. And this will be a place too where we'll put our signatures in, and it's just nice to have an area that is strong and can withstand. So that is complete. Now the actual spine is not going to be this wide. I mean, it could be if you had lots and lots of signatures. I'm just going to have 2 signatures. So I'm going to make a little bit more narrow spine, about an inch wide. If I had 3 signatures, I might make it 1.25 inches. So I'm just going to measure an inch right there in the middle and mark it on both ends. And then I'm going to take my stylus and make a crease in there. You know, a stylus pen is a real basic tool. If you don't have one, Dollar Tree usually carries one. I would definitely put that in my arsenal. Just makes folds so much more even. Then I'm going to fold it over the ruler like so, and just keep on folding and creasing until I get that in there. I did make the error of folding it on the wrong side. I should have turned it over, and the inside of my journal, what I wanted to be inside, should be facing me, and then fold it over. So I had to fold it the opposite way a little later on. But the inside of your journal, which you intend to be inside, should be facing you when you make these folds. Okay. So that is going to be the spine. So I went ahead and refolded it. Now I got the signature, and I'm going to place it just about 1/4 inch from that fold line, and then I'm going to mark about 1/4 inch out so that I have the cover will be wide enough for me. And I'm going to measure what I am going to take off there. Now, probably I should have measured it from the fold over rather than from the end over. I'm kind of assuming that the bag was straight. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Putting in the crease again and making that fold line. And now you can see all that printed part of the bag is covered up. So we don't have to worry about that. And the flap then, it should not interfere with the fold. So this one is just a little bit too long for that fold. So I'm going to cut off the edge. And once I cut the edge off, I'm going to glue it in. And just make sure when you use a glue stick, you get right on those edges. That's probably the one place that glue sticks will sometimes lift up from. And so the covers now are complete. I'd already done the other side. And now the bones, or the basic cover itself, is finished. And we will just work from this going forward. Yeah, make sure your edges are glued down. See here, I didn't do such a good job, so I just always like to go back and check those little areas. So now we're going to work on the signatures. I am going to, I happened to get this ribbon, and hard to believe, but I got this ribbon in some packaging. And so that's what I'm going to use to put my signatures in. And then you'll need some kind of a pokey tool, and I have an awl here. And we're going to secure our signatures with the ribbon, or you could use string, you could use twine. Now I don't want to go to the very tippy edge. I want to come down about 1.5 inches down, so that what I'm holding together is kind of like the middle of the signature. And it is 1.5 inches. Yep, 1.5 inches. So that's where I'm going to put my marks there. And now I have 2 signatures. So I will now have to put my mark 3/8 of an inch from the first fold, and put a hole there, and another one about 3/8 of an inch from the other fold. And then that's just about where I'm going to be putting my signatures. And the measurements aren't so important as it is to leave some room between the signatures and the folds so that you have room to put, junk in your junk journal. So now we're going to poke the holes in here. And again, don't stress over perfection. This is a junk journal. Please remind yourself of that. So I have to do that sometime. And not to get too hung up on it being absolutely perfect in measurement. So there you have your 4 holes. That will be for your signatures. And I'm going to remark these pages just to make sure they line up fairly well. I've clipped them together. Kind of helps to work with the pages a little easier. And now we're going to punch holes into our signature here. Now to put the ribbon through, I got a large embroidery needle that I strung on my needle there, but sometimes you can just poke it through. If you take your stylus and kind of keep poking your string or ribbon into that hole, sometimes you can catch it on the other side. And I'm going to go in the inside, around the outside, and then back into the inside again. So I have one continuous piece of ribbon there. And just determine how much you need to tie. And I'm going to tie a knot. You may have to readjust your signature a little bit to make sure it lines up well. There we go. And I just tie a knot there and a bow. And that's as simple as that. And that will secure the signatures for your junk journal. So there we have it. We have the bones of our journal all finished. We have the signatures in, the cover made. And so from here on out, we will, or the next episodes are going to be me decorating this, making ephemera, transforming some of the stuff that we collected into junk journal. And so please subscribe so that you don't miss that. And if you liked this and it helped you in some way, please like this video. That would just really be awesome. And so I hope to hear from you and see you again real soon. Bye.